Hello and welcome to the Critically Clueless. I'm the Monk, and today we are doing a video in Empire of Sin. This is going to be a money guide. I'm going to try and give you as much information as I possibly can about how to make early money, how to make money that you can sustain, and kind of like the best start you could probably get in the game. Now, there is a lot to go over. So I'm going to try and get through it all as quick as I can, guys. And hopefully give you, a video that you guys really enjoy and you can learn a bit out of. Don't forget, if you do learn anything out of it or find it entertaining, hit that like button. And of course, subscribe to the channel, as 90% of all my viewers are not currently subscribed. So jump on that train. So the first thing we should really talk about is starting off the game. Now, there's different difficulties that you can start on. If you start on associate difficulty, you will get rewarded 44,000 for your start. Maid is 33, lieutenant is 22, underboss is 11. But if you are on boss difficulty, then you are only going to be starting with £1,100. You also get the $500 dollars. I know I'm saying pounds, sorry guys, but you get the dollars for accepting that very first mission that you get. So after you've chosen your difficulty, you then need to pick your boss, or I think you actually need to pick your boss first. Out of the bosses, out of all the choices that there are, this isn't for combat wise, this is just purely financially. There are three options. Option number one for me is Frank Reagan. The reason this is his brewery. It's really the Empire bonus in particular that you want to be paying attention to. If you look, it does say that it has a 5% production rate. This is kind of huge. There are very few types of rackets in the game, and the ones that actually make the money aren't the ones you necessarily want for, sustaining your money in the game. I'm always pushing the Whiskey Rush, which is, I'm telling you this now, just so you understand why it is you're picking the boss. The Whiskey Rush is basically where the money comes from in the game at the moment. It will be eventually closed loot, I'm sure, but making your whiskey and selling it off to minor factions is where it's at. Now, Frankie Donovan also has exactly the same bonus. This is an Empire bonus. It's brewery. It has a 5% production rate. Basically, you're going to be producing a little bit more whiskey, a little bit more swill, and there's a couple of different things you can do with that. But they're the two gangsters you want to look at if you're going to be looking to make a serious difference in cash at the beginning of the game. The other option, however, is Daniel Jackson. Now, apart from being my most favorite boss in this game, he's actually the boss that I do all of my testing with. He's ridiculously overpowered. It's unreal. But he has a special Empire bonus to casinos. Now, this gives you an absolutely massive 20% earning. That's huge for racket bonus. And I will show you later on in this video that I actually show you like an overall of all of my properties, and it is by far my casinos that are making the most money out of every single racket that I own, and that's without being leveled. I personally wouldn't recommend leveling up a building. It's not that I don't want to level up the buildings, it's just that it's not unfortunately worth the money. If you're gonna level up your buildings, what you want to be doing is setting it to level and allowing it to go, not rushing it. But even that, I would honestly just stick to your brewery. So Daniel Jackson is who I would pick if you are going for racket-wise money. Also, if you want a very easy gangster to use, he's your man. If not, I'd pick one of the other two. Now, once you picked a boss, you can actually get into gameplay. What I would recommend is running around and trying to find thugs. Thugs, generally, they are guarding a crate. If there is no crate there, it means that one of the other AI bosses have already found the crate and they've left the thugs there for you as a nice little treat. Point is, inside these crates are some good weapons and gear. Even if the gear itself is not any use to you whatsoever, you can sell it in the black market and make yourself a little bit of money. Also, every single fight that you win, you will also get some money too. This is a great way to start off the game. I start off every single playthrough trying to get as many crates as I possibly can because there are some gems here. After you've got all your goodies, you're going to be wanting to take a quick stop to the black market. You're going to have things that you can sell at this black market now. I'm going to show you that I'm on Xbox playing it, but you can go and you can change to sell your items. And as you can see, I get X amount for every single item. Now, it's not actually reflective of how much the item's actually worth. However, if you sell these items to, for instance, a boss, you will generally get around 20% more money selling it to a boss than you would selling it to the black market. So keep that in mind. If you have any bosses that you are on good terms with, in a good relationship with, look at actually selling these weapons or whatever it is you want to sell to a boss. Now, of course, they're going to use it against you. But if you want that cash, then this is a great way to earn just that little bit extra. Now, there is currently... it's not an exploit. It used to be an exploit. It's been closed out. It's been turned out, so it's no longer an exploit. It's a feature in the game, and that is, of course, disguising your swill as that absolutely god juice whiskey. However, you can only do this once, guys. So you can do it once to every single boss now. You can't do it more than once. At least I haven't managed to do it more than once to any boss. So as you can see, you just take your swill and you sell it, you disguise it, and they will give you a lot of cash for this. Not only will they give you cash, but they give you goods as well, because obviously everyone wants the whiskey. It's the most valuable resource actually in the game currently. But whatever you do, guys, do not buy it back. So if you buy it back, you'll just get your own swill. It's not going to be good. Here's the other kicker, is that eventually the boss will discover that you did sell them swill and not whiskey. They're not going to like you, and they very may well go to war with you over this. So really pick your battles on this. Obviously, for me, Maggie had a lot of cash on her, so it's definitely worth a go. And just remember to use it sparingly and on the right people. I wouldn't do it if you have just a tiny little bit of swill to do it with. But if you need a few grand and they've got the money, then give that a go. And as you can see, I'm showing you that you can still do it once again to a different boss. It's just I honestly wouldn't do it with just a tiny little bit of swill. Make sure you got yourself a good amount, and make sure you're actually getting yourself a good amount of cash, because it is a kind of one-time deal. Now, the other thing you can do once you've got your whiskey, well, kind of once you got any alcohol whatsoever, but really it's for the whiskey, is find yourself a minor league crew and protect them. The minor league crew in this game, they are your bank, they are your lifeline. You can sell as much whiskey as you can get to them, and you will get some really good cash for doing so as well. Like I said, you need to protect them because they are valuable. So now we are moving on to the properties. Now, this is general rule of thumb and kind of what I do. If I am choosing, as in buying my rackets, I generally use all small rackets as your casinos, your speakeasies, and your brothels. The big buildings safe for your breweries, because you do want as much whiskey as possible. I don't know if you've noticed here, but every time I get a chance to, I'm telling you to make and produce whiskey. So that's it. Big buildings for whiskey. As you can see, it is expensive to upgrade it. It's the alcohol quality is what you want. You want to upgrade that to level 5 in order to get your whiskey. You can choose to rush it if you want. When it comes to you getting whiskey, it's probably worth the rush. The other thing you're going to be wanting to do is increase your production as well. Now, like I said, it is very costly to get a max level building to be producing whiskey. However, once it's happening, you're getting like 80 or between 60 and 80 barrels of whiskey, producing every single week. Now, that can be sold for a lot in a game. But the other thing you want to make sure you do is bring up your alcohol tab and make sure your building is actually producing alcohol, because just because you've upgraded it doesn't mean the building's naturally producing it. So you just click on the little tab, and change it to whiskey or whatever it is you actually want to produce, but just make sure you are producing the alcohol that you want. It's really easy to miss that feature. Now, when I first started off in this very neighborhood, I took over this building and I immediately upgraded it. Now, I wasn't getting a huge amount of whiskey, but the money that I was getting from it was more than enough to get myself 9 different gangsters just from that one building. All you've got to do is make sure you're actually protecting it. And remember, the minor league crew is who you want to be protecting. You need at least one minor league faction in this game in order to do this. And I've already shown you how to do it, but you just sell them whiskey upon whiskey upon whiskey, and you can get some serious cash. Now, I'm going to show you, I'm going to be selling them a lot of whiskey, just in case, you know, because I only sold a little bit earlier. But you can get a huge amount of money from these. The minor league factions, they have no money cap, so they're an endless source of money. So as long as one of them's still in the game, the bank is kind of open. So I'd strongly advise getting a brewery to produce whiskey as soon as you can. And now on to one of the more complicated screens. So this is just one neighborhood. Now, as you can see, I own most of the rackets in this one neighborhood. So I'm kind of uncompeted. I've kind of got all the cash, you know, that I could possibly get. As you can see, I've also got all of the synergies that you can get when it comes to 2 pair, 3 of a kind, full house, straight. I've got it all, and I've also got the hotel. That's why I'm getting such a boost on the money that I'm getting in. Now, it's very important to note that this only works. So, for instance, if I get a 2 of a pair, well, those rackets then cannot be included in my 3 of a kind. And again, those 3 of a kind rackets cannot be included in my straight. So, as it sounds, a 3 of a kind is, for instance, 3 breweries. 2 of a pair, for instance, would be 2 casinos and 2 speakeasies, and so on. These synergies are really good in this game. They give you a really big buff, and if you can get the amount of rackets you need to get all of these, definitely try and do it, because it will make a massive difference to you. Now, this is the very last screen I wanted to show you. These are those same rackets that you just saw. I'm going to show you how much money I actually get from them. This is without pretty much any of them being leveled. I honestly would not recommend leveling any of your buildings up yet. The money that you have to put in for the money that you get out just honestly isn't worth it, guys. It's not something we want to hear. Obviously, we want to be messing about with our places, making them look better, but unfortunately right now, as you can see, the only building, well, the best buildings or the best rackets making me money is casinos, and these casinos are unleveled. I haven't put any extra money into them or anything like that. It's just with casinos there is a trade-off. Sometimes they're going to be earning you a lot of money. Other times you can lose big as well. So they're kind of a gamble. It's exactly what it sounds like. Getting a casino is a gamble. However, on average, I make more money coming from my casinos than I do other things as well. Obviously, you can pick a boss with synergies towards casinos if you want. However, personally, I would do that towards breweries. And guys, that is about all of the information I can give you on money making. I hope this has helped. If you have any more questions, then please message me, comment on this video, and I will do my very best to answer all of them. This video is getting a little bit long now, so I'm going to cut it short, but there's also other things you can do in this game to earn yourself a little bit more money. There's certain bosses that can obviously make it. I've covered that, but there's also a few gangsters that can also give you a little bit more money depending on what perk you pick. So have a look for that video a little bit later. I'm going to make that a completely separate video because there's a lot to cover in it. But guys, I've been the Monk. We've been the Critically Clueless. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And again, if you have any comments at all, you don't know how something works, I didn't explain something properly, just let me know and I'll do my best to make sure that I help you out. But until then, I'll catch you later.